All right, good morning, good morning. Good morning from beautiful Emerald City, Seattle. We are about to get started. We're just gonna wait for a few more people to join, everyone trickle in. Before we get started, I'd like, just to hear from you and to work out the chat feature. Press the chat bubble at the bottom of your screen and type in where you are watching this webinar from. We are located here in Seattle, like I said, and I'm sure we're going to get a lot of people from around the Puget Sound and hopefully around the country to tune in this morning. All right, well, it's about 11:02 right now, so I say let's get started. So first and foremost, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is John Moses, and I am the case manager and the PR manager here at Pinnacle Integrative Health. And I would like the honor of introducing Daniel Rasmussen. He is a nationally certified diploma of Oriental Medicine and East Asian Medicine practitioner, licensed to practice in the state of Washington. He graduated with a Master's of Science in Oriental Medicine from the prestigious Bastyr University here in Seattle. And in 2008, he did a residency in Shanghai, China, studying with some of the world's leading stem cell researchers and doctors in regenerative and integrative medicine. He's featured in the Continental Who's Who. Continental Who's Who is one of the growing publishers of professional and executive biographies of business leaders, who's who in the world of achievers. He also received the 2019 Top Doc Award for Integrative Medicine Specialist. He is the founder of Pinnacle Integrative Health, and he built a team of Western doctors and East Asian medicine practitioners who work side by side to discover the root causes of chronic disease and pain, and then treat the causes rather than managing the symptoms with medications. Our team here is just phenomenal, amazing, and we are passionate about helping people achieve their health and wellness goals. We are excited to have him educating us today, and we are very grateful that you took the time and the commitment to be here with us. Before we start, I just want to make two promises to everyone in attendance today. Promise number one is going to be, this is not going to be a waste of your time. We're going to dispel a lot of myths about thyroid disorders and provide you with information that could change the course of your life. Promise number two, during the webinar today, you will be given a chance to have a complimentary evaluation of your case to see if this specific approach is the right fit. It's not for everyone, but our team on the webinar today will be reaching out to you during the webinar to set up your complimentary consultation so you can find out. Before we go any further, I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of the chat box feature that I spoke of prior. It's in the center of your screen at the bottom. Feel free to type any questions, any sort of comments or anything like that. Engage with us as you like. And with that being said, let's get started, Daniel.
All right. Thanks, John, for that awesome intro. Appreciate it. So, yeah, welcome to the webinar today. We're going to be talking about autoimmune diseases, Hashimoto's, Graves' disease, how that relates to brain fog and thyroid symptoms. And, this is a subject that I'm passionate about. And I saw the reason why is it goes back to how did I even get into this field of medicine? And it goes back to my mom having some health challenges, some hormone imbalances and emotional, symptoms, depression, anxiety, a lot of things that were related to her health. The root of it being her thyroid issues. And so I watched her kind of go on this medication downward spiral for years while me and my sisters were in school. And my mom was starting to lose hope. She was not getting better. Her doctors kept telling her that, from what I remember, I was pretty young at the time, but I just remember them telling her, everything's normal. There's nothing we can do. Just take the medications. So she was just feeling she was at the end of her options there. And even I don't think it was later on until we realized how close she was to dying, just because she was so depressed and out of hope that at one point she was even becoming suicidal. So it was not a good situation. Anyway, I saw she heard about this doctor. His name is Dr. Barney. She went to see him, and he's an integrative medicine specialist, much like what we do here at Pinnacle Integrative Health. And he did some testing for her that no other doctor had done, found some, things that were going on with her health that he felt didn't need medications for. It needed lifestyle changes. It needed nutrient status changes. It needed correct supplements. And so he kind of designed this program for her over the next 8 months. And she followed it to a T. She became a really good student of his processes and applied everything. And I'm here to tell you, when I saw my mom's health turn around in about 6 months' time, I had my mom back finally for the first time in many, many years. And I saw her go through that process, and it inspired me. And that's what, I started talking to Dr. Barney, who's, one of my heroes, for basically pulling my mom and helping her, out of this fog and really helping her to get her health back. And to this day, she's a passionate health advocate, not only for herself, but others as well. And that's what inspired me to go to Bastyr and get my degree and go down this route. And so I'm excited to share this information with you all. My purpose is to get this information out there so we can let people know that there are other options and other ways to get to the root of your health challenges and really find a long-term permanent solution. And that might be the solution you're looking for. We usually, so what we're going to do is dispel some myths about what these symptoms are and how they're related to deeper underlying root causes. And if you fix that, you've got a long-term correction. So I'm going to ask that if you're here and you've got some health challenges, that so many of us today are so distracted. We're trying to multitask. We're trying to do 2-3 things at once. I'm just going to ask that I believe that this is the most important information you can receive at this time. So I'm going to ask that you put away all your distractions and just put your phone on silent, shut down your social media for a little while, turn off your notifications, just be present and really learn and see what you can get out of this. Think if you can learn 3 things that you can take away today. How valuable will that be to your health? So be present, put away the distractions, and let's get started. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and we'll pull up the slides here. All right. So that's me. That's yours truly. And my purpose is to transform your thyroid health and help you reclaim your energy, fitness levels, and live without brain fog. So our goals for today are to talk about the truth about the health crisis in America. How many of you out there today would agree that we have a crisis of health in our country? Just hit the raise your hand button and let me know if you agree that we have a crisis of health in our country today. Would you agree with that? Yeah, because when we're going to talk about why that is. Why do we have this health crisis in our country? And we'll talk about non-drug breakthroughs that help resolve thyroid issues. I'm going to hit on how to unlock the secret solution to autoimmune diseases and thyroid conditions and how they relate to one another. We'll look at what the fat storing hormones are. There's 3 of them, and those all lead to weight gain and make it difficult to lose weight. And we'll talk about what is brain fog and why you have it and what you can do about it. And it's not just getting older, and it's not just your thyroid. Finally, we'll talk about how to take action on your health today instead of wishing and waiting for things to change. So if you look at let's talk first about the health crisis in America. Maybe you can relate if you're always feeling tired and fatigued and in a brain fog. Are you tired of looking up on Dr. Google trying the next magic bullet supplement that doesn't work? Are you reaching for that energy drink throughout the day, just trying to make it through the day without feeling like you got to fall asleep? Maybe you're frustrated that no one is concerned about your thyroid health like you are. You go to your doctor and they say everything's normal. Your labs are all in the normal range. Maybe it's a normal high or the low side of normal. But what about your medications? Maybe you're worried about your thyroid medications are always being changed and you're just not feeling any different. You're not feeling any better. And maybe you can relate if you feel like you've tried just about everything out there and you don't want another Band-Aid treatment. So if you can relate to any of that, those are things that you're in the right place. You're going to get some answers today. Let's look at some of the symptoms a lot of you might be having. So when we look at thyroid symptoms, usually patients that we talk to, they're tired, they're sluggish, they're just not feeling right, especially if they don't take their thyroid meds, they just crash, right? Maybe you are in a state of, depression. Did they look at your thyroid when you went in with complaints of depression? Depression is caused by your thyroid not functioning, and thyroid uses tryptophan. And if it's not functioning, you're going to feel that symptom of emotional depression. That was what was going on with my mom. Many doctors will say that depression has nothing to do with the thyroid, but it's easily treated once you know what's causing the depression. How many of you get nervous and emotional, like impending doom is about to happen? You get the one news headline and you go off into a nervous fit. The economy is going to crash. You just can't handle it. Symptoms, those are all thyroid symptoms. Headaches, inflammatory symptoms associated with headaches, low blood sugar. Headaches are common, but they're not normal. If you're having headaches on a normal or on a regular basis, that is not normal. Vertex headache is a liver headache. That's why, if you just take a pain pill or Tylenol, that's actually compounding the problem because now you're putting as toxic medication the thyroid has to produce. So sometimes we'll be compounding the problem by making the liver more toxic. Now you got more thyroid, now you got more headaches. Maybe you can relate if you got cold hands and cold feet. You're always that person that's just like running your hand under warm water, trying to warm up, or sticking your socks on and you've got those cold hands and cold feet. Maybe you can relate to this little guy and just feeling tired and sluggish all the time, just not moving. That guy is not getting up. How many of you are losing your hair or it's thinning over time? That is a thyroid condition. And if you don't really find the root cause and fix it, the hair will continue to thin and fall out. One of our patients brought in a clump of hair in a baggie and to me, and she's one of our patients that we did an evaluation with. And she asked me, Danny, is this clump of hair in this little baggie, this is what's coming out, of my head on a daily basis. Is this normal? And I said, no, that's not normal. That tells me something is going wrong. If you're losing your hair, something's not right there. And she said, my doctor keeps telling me that this is normal. And I said, don't accept that. That is an unacceptable explanation. Just because you have been diagnosed with a thyroid problem doesn't mean it's normal to have your hair fall out. let's find out why your thyroid is not functioning correctly. Constipation, maybe you can relate to this face right here, the constipation face, right? Bearing down, you're just not having those bowel movements for 2 or 3 days, 4 or 5 days sometimes. That is not healthy. You've got all that toxicity that's backing up into your body. Let's not ignore these symptoms. Mood swings up and down, loss of muscle mass. Low thyroid hormone leads to loss of growth hormone, which leads to loss of muscle mass. And so human growth hormone helps to build and maintain muscle mass, and it all starts with the thyroid. So if you're getting weaker and weaker, we've got to find what's causing that, because the weaker you get, the more prone to injury you become. And when you have an injury, you're never going to quite get back to full 100% recovery. There's going to be that injury that weakens that part of your body going forward. All right, so let's look at how the thyroid connects to every tissue in your body. So thyroid is the hormone that sparks the tissues to life. And if they don't get those signals, whatever tissue it is, it could be your bones, it could be your immune system, your brain, your GI tract, your liver, gallbladder, your growth hormones, fat burning, insulin levels, healthy cholesterol levels, proper stomach acid. If these tissues don't get thyroid hormone properly, they're going to slow down and stop functioning, and you're going to then get symptoms. So, if you have constipation, that your GI tract's not getting enough thyroid hormone. If your immune system's weakening, it could be that it's not getting enough thyroid hormone. If you're fat burning and is slowing down and you're gaining weight, your fat burning mechanisms might not be getting that thyroid signal. Cholesterol levels start going up, acid reflux, proper stomach acid production. Then you get poor digestive function, and now you're not absorbing your nutrients. So the thyroid is connected to every single tissue and organ in your body. And that's why you get all these different symptoms. So now let's talk about the health crisis in America. Since the year 2000, pharmaceutical companies are marketing directly to us. And the consumers, they're directly advertising to you, the consumer, and bypassing the doctor. So you go into your doctor, you say, I want this medication or that medication because I saw it on a commercial. And the doctors are so busy, they don't know what to do. So then you're told you'll have to take the medication for the rest of your life. And then that's your best decision. That's the best decision you could have made. So drug commercials teach you to self-diagnose. What medical condition do you have? And then second thought, what drug do I need for this? What's the magic bullet? Pharmaceutical companies have spent billions of dollars per year advertising to make you think this way. And it's working because they are very profitable. And so all these preventable diseases, they put you on these drugs for life just to profit off of your illness. That is not what medicine was supposed to be. I'm sorry, but it's not. So what we need to understand is, first, how do we get out of this crisis? Well, it's information, and that's what we're trying to give you today. So let's first talk about, let's understand, how did you get to where you're at? How did I get here? How did I get here with my health? Because it doesn't just happen overnight. So there's what we call the 4 negative stressors: physical, emotional, chemical, and immune stressors. Each one of these can disrupt normal function. If you have a neck injury, a physical stressor of your body, where's your thyroid located? It's in the neck, right? If you have a head injury, where are the glands that regulate the thyroid? They're in your head, okay? Emotional stress. How many of you have been, in a really stressful job situation, maybe and you started noticing that your health started breaking down pretty quickly after that prolonged stress, right? So that's a second type of negative stressor that can ruin your health. Then we got toxicity and chemicals coming at us every day from our environment, polluted environment, food additives. Our food supply is laden with chemicals and hormones and antibiotics. Those are all chemicals that are destroying your body's internal health. And then we have the immune negative stressors. So we've got COVID, we've got the flu, we've got the common cold, we've got bacteria. Over and over, if your doctor's prescribed repeated rounds of antibiotics, guess what that's going to do to your immune system? It's going to weaken it over time. So you add up all of these together over a lifetime, over months and years turn into decades. And then all of a sudden, your body has a collapse in its health. All of a sudden, you're getting that big diagnosis that you never thought you would get. Well, this is how you got here. We have to take these 4 negative stressors into consideration to understand how you got there, and in order for us to find a roadmap to undo the damage that's been done to the body. So when you go to your doctor, part of the health crisis in America is you've got these symptoms. They're all preventable. Now you go to your doctor, and 76% of all doctor visits end in a prescription. According to the CDC, this is the status. What's wrong with medication? Are they bad? Yeah, they can be life-changing, or sorry, they can be life-saving when necessary. But what is it that they're treating for chronic preventable diseases? How many of you are on 5 medications or more, or know someone that is? This is called polypharmacy syndrome. And we have a patient came to see us. He was on 16 meds. He was looking for a way out of those medications. His doctors wanted to put him on 1 more medication to add it to 17. His daughter referred him. She had been through a program with us, totally transformed her health, 180-degree turnaround, resolved her health issues. She lost weight. She's just doing phenomenal now. And her dad has rheumatoid arthritis. He's 60 pounds overweight. He's got diabetes. He's just in pain all the time and fatigued. And so Don realized that he had a choice. He could keep taking more medications, or he could take his health into his own hands and do something different, get a different result. And so we did some regenerative medicine injections into his knees because they were damaged. They were arthritic. That stopped the arthritis process, got him out of pain. We did a bunch of blood testing, stool testing, hormone testing, and we found that he was totally out of balance in multiple areas. His digestive system was shutting down. His immune system was malfunctioning. So we designed a program that took about 12 months. I told Don, this is going to take about a year. Are you willing to commit to a process? If we show you step by step what we're going to do in collaboration with you. He said, absolutely. Tell me what I need to do and I will do it. Where is he at now? He's walking again. He's hunting. He's a hunter. I don't know about any of you, but he's lost 67 pounds. He's the thinnest he's weighed in over 15 years. And he's off almost all of his medications. So it's doing very, very well. If that's the kind of outcome that you would like instead of a health crisis in America situation, then we definitely need to do something different. Our food also, we might have to change the way we eat. We might have to make better decisions about the food we put in our body. I get so many people that tell me, oh yeah, but organic food is so expensive. Well, so is triple bypass surgery on your heart. So is diabetes. If you try to save a little bit of money now on buying crappy food, you're going to pay with your health down the road. And that costs way more money. So if you're willing to invest in a little bit right now in higher quality options and choices, then you can actually prevent that from manifesting into your future. How many of you tried to find solutions by going to your family medicine doctor, your PCP, and they run some labs, and think how many times you've gone only to be told, why don't we try another medication just to see if this works? It just kind of feels like guesswork after a while, right? Or you're told, oh, all your labs are in the normal range and everything looks good. Let's just wait and see if these symptoms go away on their own, or maybe the symptoms are in your head. It's not your doctor's fault. It's the system of crisis care, and it's broken, and we desperately need out of it. Most doctors are running labs to look for disease. Meanwhile, they're missing the totally different lab set that we specialize in, by the way, for looking for wellness. Where is the wellness in your body? Why is it lost? And why is it not functioning right? So they don't focus on the cause in conventional medicine. They focus on symptoms. And turns out symptoms are just the last little indicator light, like a check engine light flashing on the dashboard. The dashboard light bulb isn't the problem. It's what's under the hood. Okay. So if you've ever wondered why your labs all look great, it's because they're only testing for if you have the disease yet or not. That's why. So by the time you're in the red zone, it's a little too late. You got the disease. We want to test whether or not you're in the green zone, the functional lab range. That's where you need to be. If you're not, we've got to do some intervention. We've got to correct it, and we've got to do it naturally. So a functional range assesses risk for disease before it develops. How many of you would like to know way ahead of time if you're going to have problems and be able to actually do something about it now so it never happens? It's like looking into the future and being a time traveler and going, you know what? If I could go back and tell myself to do this and this and this differently, I would do it. And that's giving you that ability to peer into the future and do something about it now. So we don't want to focus on symptoms. We want to focus on your body's functionality. We had a patient, medications and thyroid surgery. Sometimes they'll tell you, we got to cut out your thyroid, or we got to irradiate it. You're going to put some radioactive iodine in there and just destroy the gland. So we had a patient who came to see us who went to her endocrinologist, and they referred her to surgery to remove her thyroid after she failed to respond to the medications. And she said, no way, she wanted to find answers besides just a medication and surgery as her options. Those are the two options that regular medicine has for you, is medications and surgery. And so she came to see us. We ordered the tests and labs, the functional tests that go to a deeper level and a broader range. And we discovered that her doctor had totally misdiagnosed her thyroid condition. It was actually an autoimmune disease. And so knowing that, we recommended a comprehensive program to discover what triggered her immune system to function that way. And her doctor told her nothing could be done. So, however, after a year starting her program with us, she was feeling 90% better. And she went back to her endocrinologist, and they determined that she no longer had Graves' disease and no longer needed to do the surgery. They did not recommend the surgery anymore. Imagine if she had just said, okay, let's cut out my thyroid. She'd be in thyroid medications the rest of her life, and she would still be feeling like she was not good. So health habits. Now, this is critical because poor choices compound over time. They build up one on top of another, and they start triggering multiple sources of inflammation to the point where you can't plug enough holes in the leak in the boat. The boat is going to sink. How many of you would say your health habits have an impact on your health? Would you guys agree with that? Just give me some interaction. Let me know you're still with me here. Raise your hand if you think that your health habits have an impact on your health. They absolutely do. And our testing uncovers the damage that's been done from chronic inflammation over a lifetime due to poor health habits, whether they're known or unknown, and on a comprehensive level and a microscopic cellular level. So our medical team then, after that testing, then treats you, mentors you, coaches you. We use health coaches, our patients, along a process to make those healthy habits, which are engineered and designed around their labs and their tests, And finally, over time, what happens is new health habits are formed, chronic disease patterns start clearing up, like your thyroid symptoms, and they begin to reverse. So this is not a overnight quick fix, right? So who am I again? Our team is most famous for helping people just like you correct your thyroid imbalances without drugs or unnecessary surgery. We do this through a process of regenerative medicine, helping your body regenerate healthy tissue again, getting it back to functional status, so it's functioning in the optimal zone. And we use ancient Eastern medicine to complement this and stimulate and accelerate the process of the body's own healing. We call it collaborative medicine because we're collaborating with you. And so we're finding the root cause of your health, and we're helping you to hit your health goals. So the good news, we've figured out a simpler way to recover thyroid immunity and brain health. And let's walk you through it. So the best part, a lot of people are going, oh, I bet I'm going to have to become vegan. No, you don't have to go hardcore vegan, paleo, or keto. You don't have to beg to get all the tests that you heard about. We comprehensively include those automatically. You don't have to worry about not having a program to follow or support system in place, because to help you reach your health goals, that's part of how our programs are designed. And you don't have to wait for years to start feeling better and have energy, increased well-being and happiness and confidence. You can start feeling better within weeks. Usually tell our patients, you're going to start feeling better within the first 4 to 6 weeks. That's when you know you're on the right path. All right, so let's look at a case study here. I normally share Nancy's story, but I am going to switch screens here really quick and share with you Carol's story.
Hi, I'm Carol. I'm from Tacoma, and I came here wanting answers. I've been to several different doctors over health, and they couldn't give me really any answers. They just kept saying, let's try another doctor, let's try some more medication. And I was tired of it, and I came across this program, and it's been changed drastically for me. My body used to swell a lot and feel bloated and just really tingly, and I've been able to really bring that down and don't have a lot of those same issues anymore. My sleep has gotten better. My energy has definitely gotten better. And I came here with Hashimoto's, and I've noticed a huge difference in controlling that. And just being able to read my body and know what is good and not good for it. And I've just noticed a huge difference from day one till now. And now that I'm near the end of the program, I have the tools that I need to stay with it and not go back to where I was previously, and just keep track of the positive of the transformation, and going back and looking to where I was to where I am now has just been great. My family, my friends, they've seen a huge difference in me, in my face, in my body, and just my aura. And it's been fantastic.
Thank you so much, Carol.
You are welcome. Hi, I'm Carol. I'm from Tacoma, and
Oops. Okay, so back to our slides here. So that's Carol. She's just one example of many of our patients who have gone through a program to reverse the chronic disease patterns permanently for life. So Carol has all the tools that she needs to maintain her results for the rest of her life. So that's powerful. And just like, when you fix a problem, it shouldn't come back. And when you realize that it's not a silver bullet, you've got to do the correct testing. You've got to do samples of blood, stool, saliva, checking hormones, GI, wellness, all the blood markers comprehensively, looking at deep dive. Then only then can we know what you need in terms of the right treatments, the right therapies, the right coaching, what's your curriculum look like, that we're going to design that for you. And then we know that the process is coaching and mentoring to make sure that you're getting those correct tests and hitting the end goals of what those health markers should be, getting more energy, how to maintain it, fixing the thyroid, putting the autoimmune disease into remission so that you can get on with your life and live again. So the transformation, can be dramatic. Imagine having twice the energy, being in no more pain because your body is the inflammation is gone out and it's actually healing, and the growth hormones coming back and healing and regenerating tissue. You've got that razor sharp brain that you knew you had and you didn't know where it went. And you've got more freedom to work toward bigger goals. So whatever your rock bottom is, how bad does it, you're going to have to ask this. You have to be really honest with yourself. How bad does it have to get before you take action and do something about it? Because it's different for everybody. You have to basically get to the point where you're like, this is not the life that I want to live. So then what our patients do is we make sure that you've got the commitment to finding answers and work with a clinic that takes your health as seriously as you do. And so then this begs the question, what would be different for you if you were able to look and feel your best? When was the last time you woke up in the morning feeling really, really good? Can you think? How long has that been? Okay, so if it's been a while, we might want to consider that it's time to take action and do something, getting some help. So how many of you feel like you've learned something today so far? How many of you wished your doctor was able to tell you these things? As I promised, I don't want to waste anyone's time. So we're going to give you some things that you can start doing right now to get your health moving in the direction that you want. Okay, first step to health today is to schedule a complete wellness evaluation. So this consultation will go over a wellness evaluation and we'll come up with a plan of action if we feel like we can help. The only way we can find out if we can help is to have you fill out some paperwork, fill out a questionnaire, and meet with you either in person or if you live outside of the Seattle area, we can do it over Zoom. We work with patients in California, Texas, the east side of Washington state, all over the region. So you don't have to live in Seattle to do this consultation, which is a good news. So we're going to block off, 30 minutes to 45 minutes for you for this consultation. And we'll talk about, what does it look like? What are we going to be able to do? Normally the value of this consultation, we used to normally charge for this, but today it's a gift for you. For being on the webinar today, it's a gift. No charge. It's complimentary. As long as you schedule with John, John's there to help you guys get set up. You got to let him know that you want to set this no obligation consultation up. And I got to really stress something. If you're going to, schedule this, we got a busy schedule. And if we block out that chunk of time on our schedule, please make sure you're doing all the steps to make sure you're taking it seriously. Because if I do the consultation with you and I see that you didn't do those steps, I'm probably going to say it's probably not going to be a good fit. You got to take it as seriously as we're going to be taking it seriously. And so don't schedule if you're going to not show up for the appointment, or if you can't carve out 30, 45 minutes to fill out the questionnaire. Okay, so that shows us, okay, this person's serious about their health, and we don't just accept any patient. We're very picky about who we accept as patients. We want to make sure it's a good fit for both of us. So, all right, so let's look at the process here, the thyroid and hormone transformation 3-step process. Number 1, use diagnostic testing to identify causes. And then we look at causes from each of the 5 core pillars of health. And we're going to talk about what those 5 core pillars of health are in a moment. Then we now know, once we get the testing, we know what treatments to administer, such as peptide therapy, which effectively unlocks the healing of your body, acupuncture if possible, natural herbal therapies that restore gut health and get the gut rebalanced and the microbiome fixed, get your constipation going again. Get your digestive system to treat the constipation so you can get moving again. And then optimize your progress with a health curriculum and education so that you understand how to maintain your health for the rest of your life. So we don't just do T3, we get to the testing, we get to the underlying cause by comprehensive testing rather than just guesswork. So some examples are free T3, free T4, TSH, reverse T3, thyroid antibodies. There's about 8 different thyroid markers that we're looking at to tell us whether or not it's actually the thyroid, or if it's an autoimmune disease, or if it's the liver, or if it's the gut. There's 22 different patterns that it could be. And the one-size-fits-all treatment when you go to your doctor is everybody gets on the same drug. Everybody. It doesn't matter what's going on, whether it's a thyroid or not. If your TSH is off, you're all getting the one-size-fits-all treatment. And 90% of you have been misdiagnosed. That's not the problem. This is the only way you're going to find out. Then we also do all 4 iron labs, the saliva cortisol, which is a cortisol hormone test, looking at B12, vitamin D levels, magnesium, potassium, all your micronutrients, sex hormones, and your genes to see if there's a breakdown in the way your mitochondria are functioning in the cellular level. So the adrenal gland, why do we got to look at that? If you don't know what your adrenal cortisol rhythm is, this isn't a blood test. This is a collection of saliva over 4 different times throughout the day. And if you don't know what your hormone pattern is with cortisol, then you're totally missing about 60 to 70% of the picture of what could be disrupting your immune system and the thyroid and causing symptoms. So you've got to deal with cortisol, because cortisol is one of the fat storing hormones. Weight gain is one of the symptoms of a hormone imbalance. So depending on which hormone is out of balance, your body will store weight in different ways in different areas. It could be, the belly fat. It could be on the thighs. It could be just equally distributed throughout your entire body. Or it could be internal, on your internal organs, around your fat, around your liver, called fatty liver disease, which looks like pot belly. So if you've got cortisol, if you've got ovary hormones that are out of balance, estrogen, if you've got insulin, which is the liver body type, or if you've got lack of thyroid, you could have a combination of these different body types. You don't have to be just one or the other. So that's where it starts to become really complex. And you've got to have a specialist to figure this endocrine system out from a holistic, functional perspective, not a symptom-based perspective, because you could sit here and chase the dog's tail forever and ever trying to figure this out with drugs and a symptom approach. So one of the main things that we've got to figure out is, how do we get your growth hormone stimulated again so we can use a peptide called AOD 9604, which wakes up the pituitary gland to release growth hormone, and it gets the whole cycle reset, just as an example. Now, how do we test for leaky gut? We got to do a comprehensive stool test. And this what we have discovered over the years is leaky gut affects the whole body. It can cause skin problems. It can cause brain fog. That's what's causing your brain fog, is inflammation getting in through the leaky gut. It can attack your joints, leading to rheumatoid arthritis, sinus symptoms, allergies. All of those things are connected to the leaky gut. What causes leaky gut? Stress, toxins, food particles, your medications you're taking from your doctor, pathogens, candida, parasites, microbiome dysbiosis, and even fatty liver disease can cause leaky gut progression. So inflammation is destroying the tight junctions between the cells, and now that inflammation seeps through into your bloodstream, and now your immune system has to handle all those things that should not be getting into your body. So then your body becomes toxic and inflamed and sets off the whole process. Maybe you can relate. If you have you been diagnosed with one size fits all thyroid condition, you're a statistic that 90% of thyroid symptoms, this is the symptoms, thyroid symptoms among US women are due to an autoimmune disorder, not a thyroid problem. Hashimoto's and Graves are not thyroid problems. Okay, they're treated like they are, but they're not. So a misdiagnosis will lead to the wrong treatment, which means you don't get the care you need and you don't feel much better, and actually most likely getting worse. And then as it gets worse, it starts to turn into morbidity and mixing with other diseases that start to form, such as diabetes, type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome. You wouldn't believe what we find on these blood tests. So this is so common. That doesn't mean it's normal though. So we can engineer a program to reverse all of this. So how many of you are ready for a brand new approach to your health? How many of you have tried to do something on your own without any guidance? Could you imagine going on to Google and trying to sift through all this information? Imagine trying to learn how to fly a plane without a mentor or a teacher to show you how. How many of you could just read the book, How to Fly a Plane for Dummies, and then go climb into the Boeing and take off, right? It's not going to happen. So our mentors create accountability. They shortcut the learning curves. They help you avoid mistakes. In the long run, you get your health back. You've got to have the burning desire to have better health and make those changes necessary. So again, testing leads to the right treatments, leads to the right teaching. It's a systematic step-by-step training program that has mentoring and accountability. And this is the only way I've seen people be able to reverse permanently their chronic disease patterns. And I talked about the 5 pillars of health. This is our curriculum that we teach you. Deep dive into each one of these subjects. Digestive health, how to maintain it for the rest of your life. Detoxification, how to do it properly, get good results, and how to properly detox in a way that maintains good health going forward, using part of your lifestyle as part of the detox. How to customize your nutrition based on testing. Find out what foods are your kryptonite and making you weak versus what are your power foods. It's different for everybody. And then we do a deep dive into your hormone system, teaching you about the hormones of fat and the hormones of longevity and the fat burning hormones, and how to turn those on and turn the fat storing hormones off. And customized exercise, fitness, can't leave that out. It's got to be part of it. And then finally, restoration of brain health. So these are the 5 pillars of health. If you take one of these pillars out and you leave them out, you're only going to get a temporary, at best, result. It's only going to be temporary. So you can't leave any one of these out of the picture because it's a comprehensive, each one is a pillar, critical. So how would life, ask yourself these questions. How would life be if I were able to turn on my brain again, have more energy, and correct my health issues? What would it be like for you in your life? Is it going to be a better quality of life? You got to ask yourself, up to this point, how has your health affected your life, your relationships, your ability to work and make money, your ability to just be happy and enjoy life day to day. Is it affecting all those things? Most likely it is. And on a scale 1 through 10, how motivated am I to really take care of my problem? Am I willing to take a step out of my normal, comfortable routine where I'm feeling like crap, I'm not feeling good, and willing to take action and do something else? With that action step, you have the potential to feel empowered, have hope again, feel more capable of improving your health in ways that you have not thought possible before, that maybe you believe your doctor when they say nothing can be done. I hope you don't believe that. You know, this information will lead you down new pathways that you never thought existed, that you never knew existed. So imagine fitting into those jeans you've been wanting to fit into for a while, right? How's that going to feel? All right, so now you got 2 choices today. After learning this information, you can keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, which is insanity, or do something new, do something different, and get a different outcome, a better outcome. And so I'm going to encourage you to not procrastinate today, because the cost of doing nothing is that nothing changes for you. You know, your problem will simply get worse, and it will be a bigger problem down the road, and it will be more difficult to correct. You have suffered needlessly for nothing just because you put it off another year. It wasn't convenient to take care of it now. Don't be like this fat cat who's gonna, you know, right now it's pretty easy going, but later he's gonna be forced to deal with his health. He will have no choices and his options will be less. So in closing, we love your health. We hope we can't take your health more seriously than you. So we ask that you increase your priority. Your health is your priority to your number 1 priority. And if that's you, let's get you scheduled for your complimentary consultation. You're going to have to turn on your ringer. If you let John know that you're going to be doing this consultation, don't just not answer your phone. Let him know. If you're not going to do it, just say so. You know, that's all we ask. So what I've learned is that many of you have been on the path, but you're not making progress and you want to give up and you're not sure what to do. Well, if you just take that first step, then you're 1 step closer to the rest of your life. So that's going to bring us to the end of the webinar today. Thanks for joining us. Do we have any questions, John, that need to answer?
No questions. I think you just kind of did a good job at nailing everything on the head. So thanks for that. Thanks for all the great information. I know that there's a lot of great stuff in there, and we covered a lot of bases. So thank you for that. If anyone attended that maybe missed the beginning or missed out on parts, I will also be sending you the recording of this, so that way you can go back and scrub through it and learn any parts that you might have missed. But thank you everyone for attending. If you would like to schedule that complimentary consultation to see if this approach is going to fit you, please type yes in the chat right now. I'll give a few seconds to excuse me, let you guys type that. I will say congratulations to Amrit, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but he scheduled a consultation, so congratulations. I will be giving you a call right when we get off the Zoom. And if anyone else would like to, Miranda, is that, yep, Miranda, congratulations as well. I'll give you a call too. So with that being said, thank you so much, Daniel, again. That was awesome.
Absolutely.
I'll be sending out those recordings, and I hope Amrit and Miranda, keep your phone ringer on, and I'll give you a call once we end here.
Okay, look forward to meeting you guys, whether it's virtual or in person. Yeah. All right, guys, have a great day. And we'll see you soon on the consultation. All right.
Bye-bye.
Told them one of those were way profitable.
Well, yeah, we're at now is that we need to have at least minimum 8 fills a day, minimum. That's where we need to be. So whatever we
Yeah,
need to
so
do.
we need to figure out the numbers because you need to come back and be like, okay, 100 leads, with 100 leads, we're able to sell 8 of those. And then we just have to scale and make sure
It's much higher than that.